Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Clear now all the cases. Understand it clearly. Next one is what? After completion of this particular one. When we execute a speech, JVM will perform the following actions. What are the various actions which are performed by JVM? JVM will take the switch parameter value. JVM will take what their switch parameter value. JVM will compare switch parameter value with the case constants right from the first case to the matched case. JVM will compare switch parameter value with the case constants right from the first case to the matched case. If any case constant value is matched with the switch parameter value, then the JVM will execute the instructions under the respective case, and JVM will bypass flow of execution to the outside of the switch through the break statement. Clear? Understand the points now? If no case is matched with the switch parameter, then the JVM will execute the default case. Come again, what exactly the flow of execution can I say to you? First of all, JVM will take what their parameter of the switch. JVM will compare this value with the case 1 and case 2 and so on until it gets matched. With any case value, if the switch parameter value is matched, then immediately JVM will execute the respective case instructions. When it encounters break statement, then it will come outside of the switch. At the end of the case, break statement will be identified. When it comes to the break statement, automatically flow of execution is coming outside of the respective switch. Understand it clearly. If no case value is matched, automatically JVM will execute the default case. In default also, when it encounters break statement, automatically the flow of execution is coming outside of the respective switch. Right. Now this is exactly the syntax of like what the switch programming construct. And one more point I'm telling to you, at a basic level, we are understanding this switch. In Java 14th version or in Java 15th version, again, the switch programming construct was redesigned totally. Again, new approaches are available, new enhancements are available over the switch. But at this moment, you are unable to understand this switch, that new enhancements. When we are discussing about Java 14th version or Java 15th version, there we are going to understand the enhancements over this what their switch programming construct. That we will discuss there later on. No need to worry for it clearly. Okay, fine. Right, so that flow of execution I've given. Then one simple example also we have given there. Try to understand it clearly. Into day number, here I've taken. When I provide a day number, then automatically I want to display what their day name. Observe carefully. Alright, sir. Switch day number. The day number value is what there 5. Immediately JVM will compare 5 with 1. 5 double equals to 1 false. 5 double equals to 1. What is this actually? False. Alright, it will go to the next case. Alright, day number 5 double equals to 2. Again, this is what there, it's a false. Again, it is what there, false. When it false, then it will go for the next case. Case 3, that means 5 double equals to 3. Alright, sir, day number is what there, 5. Case constant is what there, 3. 5 double equals to 3. Now here, again it is what there, false. Next one is what there, day number double equals to 4. Day number double equals to 4 is what there. Now again it is what there, false. Okay, leave this one. Case 5. 5 double equals to 5. Now it is true. When the condition is true, when the switch parameter is matched with the case constants, then the result is what they true. If the result is true, there we are able to display like what value here no? Friday is a value here we are able to display. System.out.println of Friday output here we are getting. When it is executing that Friday, then it will encounter what statement now? Break statement. When it encounters break statement, automatically flow of execution is coming outside of the respective switch. For example, in the case, if no case constant is matched, if no case constant is matched with our switch cases, no case constant is matched with the parameter, or parameter value is not matched with any of the case constant, then what it is going to be happen? Directly, it will come to what their default case. Default case will be executed, where break statement is identified. As per this, flow of execution is coming outside of the respective switch. That's it. Right, sir. Now, this is exactly the point about like what there, like that switch programming construct. Then here, example for this particular thing is what there. Friday is an example here. We are getting clearly. Right, sir. Leave this point here. Now we need to understand the rules and regulations to write a switch. The rules and regulations to write what there switch. This is the content here. What we have to understand now. Okay. Now see this one. Point by point, we are going to understand. Try to recognize this clearly. Okay, fine. I want to take very simple switch program. Very simple switch. Understand it. Int I is equal to 10. Switch I. Then inside this, case 5, system.out.println of 5, break statement, case 10, system.out.println of 10, break statement, case of 15, system.out.println of 15, the break statement, case 20, system.out.println of 20, break statement, default, system.out.println of default. There are given break statement. Right, sir. Now this is like what there, the total content here. Int I is equal to 10, switch off I. Now all these cases here we have provided. Tell me directly which case is matched here. Case 10 is matched. What output here we are able to get now? 10 is an output here we are able to get. Now let me check this. Java C space test.java. Compiled successfully. Java space test. What is that output here we are getting there? 10. 10 is an output here we are getting. Okay. It's okay. Now this is fine. Now this is completed. Now here my point is what data type that switch is able to allow. The switch parameter type is what at present integer I provided. But what data type that switch is able to allow as a parameter. If we come for this point, now let me check with the different options. First one, I want to try with byte b is equal to 5. Byte 5. In place of this I need to pass by b variable. Let me compile and execute this. Java C space test.java. Yeah, compiled successfully. Java space test. What is the output here we are getting now? 5 is an output here we are getting. So this is valid. Of course, now here I need to talk about rule number 1. Example here I have taken. Yes, this is valid. Now, no compilation error. Output here we are getting. Output here we are getting. Next one is, for example, I want to take short s is equal to 10. Here s I need to pass. Well, let us check this clearly. Java C space test.java. Java C space test.java. No compilation error. Java space test. So what data type is allowed here? Now tell me what data type is allowed here now. All right, now here we are getting. All right, sir. Now here we are getting like what there. What data type is allowed here? Short is also be allowed. Right, sir. Short is also be allowed. This is completed. Short is also be allowed. It's okay, fine. Then what next one here? Apart from this, after completion of this, yeah, okay, fine. Next one is no need to check with integer. Already we have seen that. As a demo example here, we have seen already int I is equal to 15 that we provided. Now here I is a parameter here we provided. Okay, right sir. Java C space tester.java compiled successfully. Java space test. It's okay. Now 15 is an output here we are getting still valid. We don't have any problem here up to now. Each and every possible case I'm giving in the document. Just try to understand it now. It will be useful for you. Every checkup here I'm doing inside the document. All right, the next one is long L is equal to 20. L, here I provide it. Observe carefully. Java C space tester.java. Forget about this. That entire thing here we are getting there. Number of errors here we are getting there. But the point is what there, up to now we are not having any error. But now only we are getting some compilation error. Now only we got compilation error. When I provide long data type as parameter to switch, then we are getting compilation error. So what's the meaning of it now? Up to now which data types are allowed? Byte, short, int are allowed. But long data type does not allow. Long data type is not allowed. Okay, fine. I'm asking one more question. When long data type is not allowed, is there any chance of float and double? Is there any chance to allow float and double when long data type is not allowed? Definitely, there is no chance of allowing what there float and double. Not required to check even. Not required to check even. Why? Because it allows clearly integer and it's below data types. What data types are allowed here? Integer and it's below data types are allowed. Integer and above data types are not allowed. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Okay, fine. All right, sir. This is the program here, what I have given there. Now, let me take this punch here. Now, the status here, we have to provide compilation error. The simple, I want to write it. Status is what there, compilation error. That's it. Next one, after this, character is allowed or not? That we have to check. Character is allowed or not? That I want to check. So, what I will do now, char C is equal to capital B, for example. Now, C is a parameter here we provided. Now, this is A, character A. I want to write something else like what there, A. Now, here I will write like what there, B, system.out.println of BBB. Now, here, C, system.out.println of CCC. Now, here, D, system.out.println of DDD. That's a default. Next one. The total, everything we converted to what their character. Character is allowed or not. If it is not allowed, there we are able to get compilation error. If it is allowed, there we are able to display what value? BBB value here we are able to display. Now let me check this point here. Java C space tester.java compiled successfully. Java space test. Now what output here we are getting there? BBB output here we are getting. Yes, sir. What output here we are getting there? No, BBB output here we are getting. So what's the meaning of it now? Character is allowed or not allowed? Yes, allowed. Character is allowed. Right. Another scope also here we that means output also here we have to take. The character is also be allowed. Boolean is allowed or not? I want to check it. Boolean data type is allowed or not? Just let me remove this total part here. Or else maybe now here I want to take Boolean B is equal to true something else. Here B we provided here. Now true. I'll write it is like what there true. Now here false. Now here we are able to provide it is like what there false. Then remaining part. I want to make it is comment. Okay. So Boolean B is equal to true. True and false. Two cases here we have taken there. And the default case here we provided. Okay. Java C space tester.java. Now here we are getting again what there errors here we are getting. So it is not possible. Boolean is not possible. Okay. All together now tell me final conclusion here I'm asking there. What data types are allowed? What data types are not allowed inside the switch programming construct? If we take the total part here. 1 minute. Status is what the compilation error that we provided. Now let me conclude this punch here. So these many examples given there because of your awareness purpose. Now the point is what there. Switch is able to allow the data types like switch is able to allow the data types like byte comma, short comma, int and char as a parameters. But switch do not allow the data types like switch do not allow the data types like right what data types no long comma float comma then what next one here double and what next one here and boolean data types as a parameters. Alright, this is exactly the point here we can identify. Alright, sir. Now the point is what there? What data types it allows and what data types it does not allow. This point here we have to understand clearly. Right, sir. It's okay, fine. Next one is what? Then after this, after completion of this particular point, then what next one here apart from this? Now say this one. A few more points here I'm telling to you. Now try to understand it clearly. Rule number 2. Rule number 2. Okay, fine. Byte, short, int, char are allowed. Long, float, double, and boolean are not allowed. Eight types of primitive data types we checked here. That's very clear. Now try to understand the content. Okay, fine. But I have a question now. What is my question here? Is it possible to provide string data type as parameter? String user defined data types, of course. String data type is possible or not possible? That we have to check now. String str is equal to BBB, for example. Switch str. Okay. Now inside this case AAA. Now here I'll provide like what there something else. System dot out dot println of AAA. Break statement. case BBB. Now here system.out.println of BBB. Now here we have to provide what the break statement. Case CCC. Now inside this system.out.println of CCC. Here what we have to provide there break statement. Now here case DDD. System.out.println of DDD like this here I have taken. Then after that default case here I have taken default. Then where we have to provide like what system.out.println of default. Now here we can provide like what there break state. That's okay. This is like what exactly like what there. All right. This is here and all the values here we provided. So point is very clear. If you are getting compilation error, then it is not possible. If you are not getting compilation error, then it is possible. Any mistake in our program there? Any syntactical mistake? Any typing mistake here? It's perfect. Okay, then we will check it now. All of you observe carefully. Which version of Java here I am using now? Which version of the Java? Java 6th version here I am using. Nice. Java C space tester.java. What we are getting there? Please read out this error now. Incompatible types. Java.lang.string switch str. Required is what? But found is what? String. Understand it? It's very clear information. Incompatible types. Found is a string. Required is what there? Integer. So does not allow. Switch doesn't allow what there? The string data type. But in which version of the Java? 6th version of the Java. It's very clear that. For example, I want to use the next version. What is that next version here? 7 version. Java 7 version here I'm using there. Java C space tester.java. Are you getting any compilation error? No compilation error here we are getting. Java space tester. Getting output. BBB is an output here we are getting. Yes, sir, got it or not? Then previously, when I installed 3 versions of the Java in my system, people came to me, they've asked to me, sir, what is the need of installing 3 versions of the Java? Is it not sufficient to install 1 version? For example, if you install Java 20th version, what we can identify the result here now, only one case only we are able to see, that is valid case only. But there is a point here, invalid case is available. In which version that invalid case is available? In Java 6 version now. So that's why then I installed that and I used to switch Java from one version to another version frequently through this batch files. Now see this one, when I want to use Java 6, immediately Java 6 batch file I executed. When I want to use the Java 7 batch file is executed. Okay, that doesn't matter. Here the point is what? Actual point is what there? Switch is able to allow string data type as a parameter right from which version of the Java? Java 7 up to Java 6 version. Switch does not allow that string parameter, string as a parameter. This is a clear-cut analysis here we have to understand. Now let's see this one here now. Switch is able to allow switch is able to allow switch is able to allow the string data type as a parameter. Switch is able to allow the string data type as a parameter from Java 7 version onwards. But switch does not allow the string data type as a parameter up to Java 6 version. Okay, understand it now? The program example here I'm giving there. By that you are able to get some clarity. Next one is the compilation process here I want to display with you. Right. Now these details here we provided. We can identify this. Now this is about the second point here we can understand. Okay, fine. Let's see the third point here. No? All of you observe carefully. Point number 3. Point number 3. For example, I want to be in original position of my program, sir. The simple program here I prepared there. Int I is equal to 10. Here in place of this, I need to provide I value. Here we have to provide something else 5. Now okay, just I want to display 5. I want to be in original position. Now here 10 is a value here we provided. Now here I want to display like what value here? No, 10 is a value. Now here 15 is a value here. System.out.println of 15. Right. Now 20 is a value here. I'll display this 20 for example. Break statement and default. It's okay. All these points here we understand. Now the point is what? My requirement is what? Listen carefully. I want to write switch without cases. With only default. Let me check it. That means my point is what? All cases are mandatory or not inside the switch. If you're getting compilation error, all cases are mandatory. If you're not getting compilation error, then optional. Let me check it. Java C space tester.java. Are getting any compilation error? Are getting any compilation error? No compilation error here. No compilation error here we are getting. Java space tester. What value here we are getting there? Default value here we are getting. Got it or not? So it's okay. It's valid. What is valid, sir? Now tell me. Without cases, we can write switch with the default. Okay, this is one point. Now this time, what I want to do there, I want to write a switch with only cases, without default. Then what value here we are able to get? Okay, case is matched here. Case 10 value is matched with case 10. 10 is an output here we are thinking. First of all, tell me the default is mandatory or optional? Default is mandatory or optional? If you are getting compilation error, then definitely it is mandatory. No compilation error, optional. No compilation error here we are getting. Java space tester. Output value here we are getting. Okay, fine. Up to this is also be okay. No issues. Now this output value here we have to check. This one here we are getting. All right. Now I'm asking now. For example, if I provide case value, that means parameter value 100. Parameter value here we are getting. Okay. Parameter values what there? 100 here we are getting. Now tell me, what is the situation here? What is the status here now? Now here, do you have any case which is matched with 100 is a constant, 100 is a value? No case is available. Now what we are able to get? Sure. Java C space tester.java. No compilation error. At the same time, no output. No output. Why? Because no case is matched. No output. Even it is not searching for default. If it is available, then it's okay. It will execute the default. If it is not available, not required to execute it. Just no output. So syntactically valid. Syntactically valid. This point. Okay. Still we are not getting any compilation error. At the same time, no output is generated. Leave this. For example, I want to be in original position. Now okay, we are getting like what there is switch with the case and as well as what the default. For example, I want to remove all. Just I have written switch like this. No cases, no default, just a switch parameter. That's it. That I have written. Right, sir. Now tell me, what is the status of it now? What is the status of this? What you are getting there? Now let's see this one. Java C space tester.java, no compilation error. At the same time, no output. No compilation error and no output. Okay. Now, this is another case here we provided. Tell me, sir. Finally, now tell me, what is the conclusion here I'm telling there about this point number 3? What is the conclusion here? Now tell me, in a switch, all cases under default are optional. Am I right? All cases under default are optional, comma. We can write a switch. We can write a switch. Points are available. Sub points here I'm telling there. Without the cases and with the default. Am I right? We can write a switch. We can write a switch. Option number 1 without the cases and with the default. Next one is with the cases and without the default. With all cases and without the default. Without the cases and default. Without the cases and default. Next one is what there with the cases and default. This is normal case only. Without the cases and default, but not suggestible. So if you don't want to write cases and default, what is the need of writing switch? Is unnecessarily 1 or 2 lines of instructions are going to be waste. If you write at least cases, then there is a meaning for what there switch. Without writing cases and without writing default, what is the requirement to write that switch? No? Yes, sir, am I right or not? Okay, fine. So in a switch, in Java, in a switch, all cases and defaults are optional. Okay, understand it clearly. All these are like what they're optional. We can write a switch. We can write a switch without the cases and with the default. With the cases and without the default. Without the cases and default, but not suggestible. But with the cases and default. All possible cases here we have said. Okay, the required points also here we understood clearly. Already I shown that all the points here in this case now. One by one, clearly we've seen that. So this is exactly the meaning of what there. Point number 3 about this switch, which are optional and which are mandatory. That points here we specified clearly. Clear or not? Okay, leave this point here. Third one is completed. Right, sir. And one more point here I'm telling to you guys. And people are asking one question to me. If you want to declare any string value, don't use str is equal to AAA. This is wrong. Without providing any data type, how can we specify the variable? No? So before this str, we have to use what there string. Then only it is right. That's it. If you want to declare the string, there we have to use what there string. We have to use it before the str. Then only it is right. Okay, leave this. Okay, fine, sir. So first of all, we have to provide string data type. In a string, also you must keep the test capital. That's the problem. str is equal to AAA. String you provided, but the point is what there? S must be capital. Why? Because string is a class in Java. All class names must be started with what their uppercase letters. Please try to understand it clearly. So S must be capital, then your error will be removed. Right, S must be capital, S must not be lowercase letter. Okay, leave it. All right, sir, that's okay. Now coming to the next one, all of you observe carefully. Next one, rule number 4. What is this rule number 4 here? A simple rule. Understand it clearly. Anyway, we are talking about cases and default here we are talking there. In general, we are writing the default at the end of the switch for all the cases. Am I right or not? I want to provide here. At starting point of the switch, I want to provide default. In general, we used to provide all the cases in a particular order. 5, 10, 15, 20, like this in an order here we provide it. Now this time, I want to provide in a different order. 20, here I provide it. For example, 20, 10, 5, 15, like this here I provide it in a different order. Will you get any compilation error? I changed the order of the cases and as well as what there is default. Will you get any error here? And previously we thought of it. Every time we used to provide the all cases and default in a particular order only. Is that order is mandatory? Is that the location of the default is mandatory? Let me check it. If you're getting compilation error, then they are mandatory. If you're not getting any compilation error, then it is like what there depends on our requirement. We can utilize it in any way. All right, sir. Now see this punch here. Java C space tester.java. Have you got any compilation error? No compilation error. Java space tester. What output here we are getting there? Chinese and output here we are getting. That's okay, fine. So here my main concentration is what there. The location of the default and order of the cases is not mandatory, is not in fixed way. In any order here we can provide. Understand it, no? So this is the program here. Now get that output also here we are going to provide. All right, sir. In a speech, we can provide all cases and default in any order. In any order, no fixed order for the cases and default. No fixed order for the cases and default. That's it. Now this is exactly the point here we can identify. In a speech, we can provide all cases and default in any order. No fixed order for the cases and default. Okay, this is an example here we can identify. Next one is after that, rule number 5. Now try to understand it clearly. I want to be in a original position here about my program. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Next one is after this, after completion of this particular point here. See this here, case 5 here we provided. Am I right or not? Now here, I want to write again case 5. What's the meaning of it now? 2 times I have written case 5. That means indirectly what I'm telling there, duplicate case. Duplicate cases. Duplicate cases are possible or not possible. That we have to understand. Java C space tester.java. Now here we are getting some error. What error here we are getting there? Duplicate case label. Duplicate case label. So here the point is what there? Switch does not allow duplicate cases. Duplicate cases. Here we are getting some error. That error message here we are going to display. Okay, this is one point. Fifth point is completed here. Now point number 6. Inside the, okay, now here, I want to remove this, not required here. It's okay. Now inside this, what I'm telling now, I want to check break statement is optional or mandatory. In every case, we have written break statement. Is that break statement is optional or mandatory? That I want to check. Just I want to make it is comment break statement. Here also I want to provide break statement like this. And I is equal to 10, switch I. Like this here, I'm going to provide what statements? No, break statements. Now let me compile and execute this. If you are getting error, mandatory. If you are not getting error, optional. Let's see this one. Java C space tested.java. Any error here? No compilation error. So what is the meaning of it now? Break statement is optional. Okay. Break statement is optional, that I understood. But if I execute this program, what output here we are able to get now? Now let me check this point here. First of all, okay, simple point what I am telling there. JVM will execute all the cases in the continuously, right from matched case to until it encounter break or up to the end of switch. Come again, what I said to you? If we block the break statement, that means if we delete the break statements in a switch, JVM will execute all the cases continuously, right from matched case until it encounter either break statement or end of the switch. Right, let's see this one. What is a matched case here? No, case 10 is a matched case. Right from this case 10, everything will be executed until it encounter either break statement or end of the switch. Now it encounter what there? End of the switch. No break statement here. That's why what outputs here we are able to get? 10, 15, 20 and a default. 10, 15, 20 and what next one here? Default values here we are able to get. Now let me check this. I want to execute this program. Java space test. Yes, sir. What output here we are getting there? 10, 15, 20 and a default. That's all. Let me check this point also now. Right. Now the point is what? In a speech, break statement is optional. In a speech, break statement is optional. We can write a speech without break statements. Without break statements. Okay. In this case, JVM will execute all the cases continuously right from the matched case, continuously right from matched case until it encounter break statement or end of switch or end of the switch or ending point of the switch. Right, sir. Until it encounters either break statement or end of switch. That's it now. This is exactly the point here we can identify clearly. Okay, now the output values also here we provided. This is like what there, rule number 6, what we are getting clearly. Right, sir. Next one is rule number 7. Break statement is optional or mandatory, that we understood, that where we got clarity, it is optional, not mandatory. That's okay. This is my original speech. Next, I want to go for one more point. Now try to recognize this function. Say for example, I want to use byte b is equal to 126 is a value here I provided. B is a value here we provided. 125. Here I'm providing 125. Here I'm giving 126. Here also I'm providing like what there 126. Here I'm giving 127. Now here I'm providing like what there 127, 128. System.out println of 128. Default I provided. The program I've written, is that program is valid or invalid? Okay, where I'm going to check the point here, exactly where I'm going to check the point here, understand it clearly. Switch parameter, what I've given there, 126 here I've given. Am I right or not? That means byte data type here we provided. Data type of the switch is what there, byte. But here I provided 128 value for a case. Is that case 128 is possible? In the case of the byte parameter to switch, will you get any compilation error? Understand my point clearly, what I'm asking to you know. Of course, that 120 parameter value 126 might be matched here itself. 126 is matched here itself. We are able to get output like 126, but still I'm thinking about it. Is that case 128? Is it possible in the byte parameter to the switch? That we are going to check now. That we are going to check. Sure, definitely. There we are able to get some compilation error. Case is matched or not matched, it's a runtime issue. Case value is matched or not matched, which case we have to execute, that is runtime. But first of all, compiler must check one rule about this switch. What the rule compiler must check there? Listen carefully. All the case constant values must be within the range of the data type which we provide as parameter to switch. Is it? I'll forget my point or not? All the case constant values must be provided within the range of the parameter data type of the switch. What parameter type we provide as what data type we provide as parameter switch, you know, within this range only all the case constants must be provided. So this is the rule here. That's why here we are getting required what byte, but found is what integer. Where we found integer no case 128. So remember this point clearly. Okay, now here. Now understand this point, no? In a switch, all the case constants must be provided. In a switch, all the case constants must be provided within the range of the data type which we provided as a parameter to switch. In a switch, all the case constants must be provided within the range of the data type which we provide as parameter to switch. All right. If we violate this rule, then definitely we are able to get what there compilation error here we are able to get. That's okay, fine. This is one point. Then one more rule. Now try to understand it clearly. Say for example, now I want to be in original position of my program here. Observe carefully what we have to do there. Okay, fine. This is my original program. Understand it. For example, what I want to do there, int I is equal to 5, comma, j is equal to 10, comma, k is equal to 15, comma, l is equal to 20. Check this clearly. I is equal to 5, j is equal to 10, k is equal to 15, l is equal to 20. Now here we provided like what there, I is a parameter here we provided. But in place of this, what I am trying to do now, in place of I want to provide 10 is a value, but case values, in place of I want to take I, in place of 10, I want to take j, in place of this 15, I want to take k, in place of 20, I want to take what there, l. That means reverse I am providing. Previously, we provided a variable as parameter to switch. Then all case values are constants. But this time what I have done there? First we provided like what there? Constant I provide as a parameter. But case values what I have given there? Just variables I given. Reversely I applied. Anyway, my final point is what? Are these cases are allowing direct variables or not? Or else it is mandatory to provide only constant values. The case values are what? Are these are constants? Or is it possible to provide any parameter, normal variable? Variables are allowed or not? Or constants only provided? What we ought to do? Let me check it. If you're getting compilation error, then it's mandatory to provide only constants. If you're not getting compilation error, then we can provide anything as a case values. No. Let me check this. Java C space tester.java. Here we are getting error. Please read out these errors. What we are getting there? Read these errors. No. What we are getting? Constant expression required. Where? In place of I, in place of J, in place of K, in place of L. That means all the case values must be what there? Constant variables. Okay. For example, if I declare final, when we declare final, automatically all variables are becoming as constants or not? Definitely, all variables are what there? Constant variables. As I said to you previously, when we declare a final, when we provide a final variable, in the remaining part of the program, what compiler will do? Wherever we are having final variable, then directly compiler will replace that variable with its value. Compiler will replace that final variables with their values. Am I right or not? So this is exactly the point here we can understand. Is it clear? Here the point is like what I am telling to you. Once we declare a variable as a final, at the time of compilation, compiler will replace that final variable with its value in the remaining part of the program. Now tell me here, I is available, but it is not I. Its value is what there 5 as a constant. Here J is available, but it is not J. Now it is what there 10. Here K is available, but it is not K. Its value is what there 15. Like this, compiler will replace all of its final variables with what there with their values. So finally we are getting constants or not? Right, sir. Now we are not going to get any compilation error. Java C space tester.java. No compilation error. Output value here we can provide. Alright, sir. Now this is an output here we are able to get. Okay. Now first of all, understand this point here. Java C space tester.java. If we declare it is a final, what next one here we have to do? There we are able to get no compilation error. Java C space tester.java, Java space test. Here we are getting output like what there 10 now. Okay, let me take this part here. Now the conclusion is like what there. In a switch, all the case values must be either direct constant values. Case values must be either direct constant values or final variables. Okay, it does not allow normal variables. It doesn't allow what their normal variable. That's it. Right, sir. Now these are overall the rules and regulations of what their switch programming construct, what you are having clearly. Sir, all of you are getting clarity or not? All right, sir. That's okay, fine. So overall, almost all 8 number of points here we provided. Just let's have a look on this total content here, what we provided. So examples on each and every point, but with the point here I've given there. Now tell me, what is the first point here we discussed here? Switch is able to allow the data types like byte, short, int, and car and char as the parameters, but switch does not allow the data types like long, float, double, and boolean as parameters. Okay, next one is what after this. Then what next point can be provided here? Switch is able to allow the string data type as parameter from Java 7 version onwards, but switch does not allow the string data type as parameter up to Java 6 version. Right, sir. Now, rule number 3. In a switch, all cases and default are optional. We can write a switch without the cases and with the default, with the cases and without the default, without the cases and default, but not suggestible, with the cases and default. Right, sir. In a switch, we can provide all cases and default in any order. No fixed order for the cases and default. Switch does not allow duplicate cases. Okay, in a switch, break statement is optional. We can write a switch without the break statements. In this case, JVM will execute all the cases continuously right from the matched case until it encounters either break statement or end of the switch. Next one. In a switch, all the case constants must be provided within the range of the data type which we provided as parameter to switch. Okay, next one is. In a switch, all the case values must be either direct constant values or final variables. It does not allow normal variables. Okay. Right. Now these are overall the values here what we are getting clearly. So this is the total information about what their switch programming construct. Right. So the total it is completed here. The next topic is like what their iterative statements. What is the next topic there? No, iterative statements. Okay. Now the time is almost 8:30. Shall we go for a small break? Majority of you are sleeping, sir, inside the class. It's okay. Now the last 10 minutes of time, it's okay. But before that, almost all 45 minutes of time, you are sleeping inside the class totally. Majority of the members, especially girls today. I think you are not having habituation to wake up at earlier mode, right? But in the future, it has to be. We are going to do the same classes at 7 o'clock, and still I'm coming to the class by late, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes of time. But in the future, don't expect that. Exactly at 7 o'clock, I'll start the classes. On moment, we are going to have classes there. Why? Because schedules are going to be very much busy for me. Morning 7 to 1, 3 to 9, they are the classes I need to take. So if I give a late for any class now, automatically that is going to be dragged up to the last. Maybe after 9 o'clock, I have to take the class, but nobody will come for the classes now. So then try to maintain the schedule. Definitely in the future, we are going to see on-time classes there. Okay. Right, just a small break. Try to take the small break. Within 10 minutes, you should be here. Then I will continue the remaining part. That is like what their iterative statements. Okay, take 10 minutes break and come back. Guys, this just I'm going to stop recording there. Just give intimation to me when I come back. I need to start recording. Okay. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you read my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please, all of you respond to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please respond to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible? Am I audible? Guys, please give response to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Am I audible? Am I audible, guys? Please type in chat window. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. Right, sir. So then by these conditional statements, we completed totally the total part of the conditional statements can we understand. The next one is iterative statements. Iterative statements. What is the meaning of these iterative statements? These statements are able to allow, the statements allows us to execute a set of instructions repeatedly on the basis of a particular conditional expressions. That's it. Try to understand it clearly. These statements allow us to execute a set of instructions repeatedly on the basis of a particular conditional expression. This is the meaning of what their iterative statements. What is the difference between conditional statements and iterative statements now? In the case of conditional statement, only one time only the body is going to be executed. That instructions, a set of instructions are executed only one time. If the condition is true, a block will be executed only one time. If the condition is false, the other block will be executed only one time. But execution of a set of instructions would be only one time. But if we come to the iterative statements, a set of instructions or a block of instructions we are going to execute repeatedly, continuously on the basis of a particular conditional expression. How long the conditional expression returns true value? Up to the time that block of statements are going to be executed. Once the conditional expression returns a false value, automatically that execution of that block will be stopped. Understand it clear? The repetitions are going to be stopped. So this is exactly the meaning of what? Iterative statements. What are the various iterative statements in Java? First one is what there? For and for each. Next one is what there? While. Then after that, what next one here? No, do while. These are overall iterative statements what you are having clearly. All right, sir. Now, first of all, understand the for loop. For. Now, let's understand the syntax here. What is the syntax of this for loop here? We can identify this. For expression 1 semicolon, expression 2 semicolon, expression 3, their body is going to be executed, a set of instructions. Yes, sir? I think you already aware about it, that execution process now. Simple example I want to provide, by that you are able to understand it clearly. No need to have any separate internal flow of execution. Still, if you are expecting that internal flow of execution, first of all, expression 1 will be evaluated. After that, JVM will come to what there? Expression 2. In expression 2, conditional expression, it will return true or false values there. If it returns true, it will execute body. After execution of the body, it will go to expression 3. Again, it will evaluate what there? Expression 2. If it returns true value, again body will be executed. Then after that, expression 3, again expression 2. Again, if it returns true value, same process will be repeated. How long that expression 2 returns true value? Every time that looping is going to be happen. But once expression 2 returns false value, flow of execution is coming outside of the respective file. Okay, now see this one. I want to show one simple example. Try to understand this example now. For int I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Now inside this, system.out.println of I, for example. If I provide this value, now observe carefully what data here we are going to get here from this particular one. Right, sir. Let me check it clearly. Java C space tester.java compiled successfully. Java space test. What values here we are getting there? 0 to 9. Output here we are getting. What values here we are getting there? 0 to 9. Okay, fine. Now here we are getting the values like what there? 0 to 9. Okay. Example, simple example here we have taken. Of course, now here we are getting output like what there? 0 to 9. No compilation error. Flow of execution you already aware. But my question is not what exactly that output from this program. Finding output is very simple. Everybody will identify the output from this program. But my question is what? In this overall syntax, how many times expression 1 is evaluated? How many times expression 2 is evaluated? How many times expression 3 is evaluated? And how many times that expression, that body is evaluating? That is my question. I get my point clearly? Once again, for the sake of your awareness, I'm going to copy this. Right. This is the program here, what we understood here. Now tell me here, expression 1, how many times here? Now tell me. Inside this, that expression 1 is evaluating only one time or not? Throughout this for loop, only one time only, that expression 1 is going to be evaluated one time. Next one is what there? Expression 2. How many times this expression 2 is evaluated here? No. Right. Now this is what there? Conditional expression. How many times that conditional expression is going to be evaluated? Okay, I'll give some calculation. 10 times true cases, one time is false case. Are getting it what I'm telling there? 10 times true case, one time is what there? False case. Overall, how many times that expression 2 is evaluated? 11 times. But most of the people, they are saying that only 10 times. By thinking about only true cases, no. No, even we have to include false case also. That is also be one time of execution. All right, next one is expression 3. Obviously 10 times. How many times that value is incremented? Initially value is 0. What is the last value for this I variable? When the value is 10, the condition is false. That means understand it, already 0 is there. Incrementation is going on 1 onwards, 1 to 10. 1 to 10 in the sense how many times? No, 10 times only. 10 times it was executed. Next one is how many times the body is evaluated? How many times the body is evaluated? How many outputs we are getting? 0 to 9. 0 to 9 in the sense how many outputs? No, 10 outputs here we are getting 10 times. So body will be executed 10 times. In this way here we have to evaluate that number of times that each and every intersection is going to be evaluated. Sir, got it or not? Fine. All right, sir. It's okay, fine. And one more small point, sir, I'm telling to you. Those who are not attended the class like steps to prepare first application, steps to prepare first Java application, right from installation of the Java softwares. Okay. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, I'm going to take that class. Try to understand it. Introduction class, I will take separately. I will give announcement for it. But those who are not yet completed, steps to prepare first application, or else, if you want to listen one more time, steps to prepare first application, try to attend for it clearly. Right, sir? Next one is what there after this? These are like what there, the values here we are getting. Expression 1 is what there 1 time, expression 2 11 times, expression 3 10 times, and body is what there 10 times. They are the values here we are getting. It's okay, fine. Next one is after that, after completion of this particular point here, another thing. Now try to observe carefully. Okay, this is okay, fine. Number of examples are available on the basis of this. What are the various examples here? See, different examples are available. We are going to calculate each and every example. First of all, I will take all these examples separately on these concepts here. First of all, we need to understand the conceptually. Conceptually, we are going to understand it. After that, we are going to see some examples on the basis of this loops now. Okay. All right, sir. Or else, still, if you want to go for it now, so display some even numbers up to 10, display odd numbers up to 10, display all prime numbers. First of all, check whether a number is prime number or not, and display all prime numbers up to 100, or maybe find the factorial value. These are various examples here we are going to see on the basis of this slope. Okay, right. So these examples, set of examples, we will discuss there in the future. But at present, the basic syntax here we are going to understand now. Okay, right. So see this one. Rules and regulations to use for loop. A set of rules and regulations are available to use this for loop. We are going to understand it clearly. All right, sir. Now, rule number 1, point number 1. So, what is this point number 1 here? What you are getting there? Observe carefully. Now, understand it clearly. Point number 1. See this now, all of you. This is a program here we have taken. Int I is equal to 0 semicolon. Int I is equal to 0 semicolon for semicolon I less than 10 semicolon I plus plus system output println of I. So what I'm trying to check with this program here, I'm going to check with this program expression 1 is optional or mandatory. I have removed that expression 1. Of course, that int I is equal to 0 I provided before the for loop. That is a separate statement. But inside the for loop, expression 1 I have not provided, just whether it is optional or mandatory. If you are getting compilation error, then it is what there mandatory. If no compilation error, then it is optional. Now here we are going to check it, what it is actually. Java C space tester.java. No compilation error. When no compilation error, what is the meaning of it now? When no compilation error is available, then what is the meaning of it now? So it is what there? Optional. Okay. Output point of view, very same. Same output here we are getting. Okay. This is one example. We can identify this. Okay. Now here, output. Here we have to identify. We can provide. This is an output. It's okay, fine. All right, sir. I'll give that rule. Don't worry for it. Next one is expression 1 is optional. Without expression 1, we can write for loop. Okay. Is it possible to provide any statement like system.out.println in place of this expression 1? Can I use like this? System.out.println of hello in place of this expression 1? This is my question. System.out.println of hello, can I use like this? You say this? Java C space tester.java. No compilation error. Still we can use it. If we use this, what will be the output now? Very first output is what there? Hello. Condition is true. I value 0. 0 value will be displayed. I plus plus 1. 1 is less than 10. True. 1 value will be displayed. That means hello 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on 9. That output here we are getting. Alright, sir. What is the output here we are getting there? Hello. Why? Because expression 1 will be executed only one time. So here we are getting hello 0 to 9 values here we are getting. Okay, now this is what we are getting clearly. Now I need to give the point here. What about the point here now? In a for loop, expression 1 is optional. In a for loop, expression 1 is what there? Optional. Expression 1 is optional. We can write for loop without the expression 1. We can write for loop without the expression 1. That's okay, fine. It is possible to provide any statement as a expression 1. It is possible to provide any statement like system.out.println as a expression 1. It is possible to provide any statement like system.out.println as a expression 1. That's it. Here we provided like further example here we understood. By this we are getting some clarity. This is point number 1. Everybody understand this clearly. Got it or not? Alright, sir. Okay, the related examples also we have provided. Try to understand it. Second one, point number 2. See this, all of you know. Okay, fine. We understood that anything here we can provide as expression 1. I want to remove this, and now here I want to provide this statement only. This is normal program. Okay. For example, I want to provide int I is equal to 0, comma, float f is equal to 0.0f, I less than 10, and f less than 10.0f, I plus plus, comma, f plus plus, system dot out println of I space f. Clear? Got it? Right, sir. Now let me check this punch. Now I want to compile and execute this. Java C space tester.java. Observe carefully. Here, what is the point I'm trying to say to you? Is it possible to provide more than one declarative statements as expression 1? In place of this expression 1, is it possible to provide more than one declarative statement? That I'm trying to check. Okay. See this one? No, not possible. Here we are getting what there? Compilation errors. Not possible to provide more than one declarative statement. Got it? What I'm telling you now. Okay, fine. So it is not possible. Error we are getting it. The status is like what there? Or else we can take this total error messages also. No issues. We can identify this, how many errors we are getting there. Okay, this is one example. Next example. Okay, I thought of it that float I provided here. Already integer we declared, now float I provided. I want to declare still it is what there into j. And j is equal to 0. J less than 0. J plus plus j. If I use this, check it now. Any error here? Java C space tester.java. Still we are getting same type of errors. Is also be not allowed. Compilation error here we are getting. Next one is, observe carefully. This is one declarative statement and this is another declarative statement. It's very clear that more than one declarative statement is not allowed in expression 1 inside the for loop. Okay. If I remove this, see this what happened? How many declarative statements here we provided? One declarative statement. In one declarative statement, two variables we declared. In a single declarative statement, how many variables we declared here? Two variables here we declared. Are you forgetting it or not? In a single declarative statement, two variables here we declared. When two variables here we declared, it's allowed. Why? Because the declarative statement should be only one. Now we are not going to get any problem. No compilation error. Java C space test.java. No compilation error. Java space test. What happened? Why error? Why output is not coming there? Okay, fine. 10 now. Java C space test.java. Yeah, output values here we are getting like what there? 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on. 9, 9. That values here we are getting. Got it? Right, sir. So finally, what is the conclusion here we are providing there? That conclusion is, what is the point number 2 here we have to provide? In a for loop, expression 1 allows only one declarative statement. It will not allow more than one declarative statement, but it allows more than one variable declaration in a single declarative statement. Right, this is the point here we have to understand. Observe carefully what I have given there, the point here. Right. So the point is what there in for loop, expression 1 allows only one declarative statement. It will not allow more than one declarative statement, but it allows more than one variable declaration in a single declarative statement. All right. All right, so the related examples here we have seen. That's okay, fine. Next one is point number 3. What about this point number 3 now? This is like what their normal for loop with the two variables. You understood this point? Leave this skip. This is normal for loop. Okay, good. We understood this. Next point is Java C space tester.java, Java space test output we are getting. Okay. Previously we checked expression 1 is optional or mandatory. We understood that that is optional. We can write any statement in place of expression 1, like system.out.println, that everything is okay, fine. But now my point is what? I want to check expression 2 is mandatory or optional. Conditional expression is mandatory or optional. If it is mandatory, then definitely we will get compilation error here. If it is optional, no compilation error. Let me check this. Java C space tester.java. No compilation error. No compilation error in the sense, what is this? Optional. Conditional expression is what there? Optional. No compilation error. Okay, fine. If it is no compilation error, then what output here we are able to get? No. See this. What output here we are able to get here? Java space test. All of you put more concentration. What output here we are getting there? Enter button. Infinite output here we are getting. Infinite output we are getting in the sense, what's the meaning of it now? Which value is coming there in place of expression 2? Oh, now tell me, when we are able to get infinite loop, when the conditional expression result is true always, then only we are getting what there? Infinite loop. Am I right or not? Now here, in place of expression 2, what value here we are getting there? True value here we are getting. By default, for loop will take what value? No, true value when we are not providing expression 2. In place of this expression 2, by default, for loop will take what value? True value. That's why it is providing what there? Infinite loop here. That's the point here we have to understand. Okay, now okay, let me take this point now. Okay, the status is what there? No compilation error, but output is like what there? But infinite loop output. No compilation error, output is what there? Infinite output. Okay, fine. So now the point is like what I'm telling there, in for loop, expression 2 is optional. Expression 2 is optional. We can write a for loop. We can write a for loop without the expression 2. In this case, for loop will take true value in place of expression 2, and it will make the provided for loop as what there? It will make the provided for loop as what there? Infinite loop. That's it. Is it fan sound? Outside, right? Fine. It will make the provided for loop as what there? Infinite loop here. That we are getting clearly. Fine. This is an example here. What we are getting now. Try to recognize this clearly. Okay, sir. Good. Up to that, it's okay. But I have a point here. What is that point here? Is it possible to provide any statement like system.out.println? Is it possible to provide any statement like system.out.println in place of expression 2? See this? Here I want to write system.out.println of simple hello. System.out.println of hello. Alright, sir. Now system.out.println of hello. Let's see this. Here it's running. Alright. Now Java C space tester.java. Now here we are getting an error. Incompatible types. Required is what? Boolean. But found is what? Void. System.out.println return type is what there? Void only. That's why it is not allowed. So here the condition is what there? What is this condition here? We have to understand. Later I'll copy this. It is not possible to provide any statement like system.out.println method as expression 2. Understand it clearly? It is not possible to provide any statement like system.out.println method as what their expression 2. As like what their expression 2. Got it or not? Okay, fine. It is not possible to provide any statement like system.out.println method as a expression 2. But if you want to, but it allows only the Boolean statements. Only the Boolean statement. It must return a Boolean value like true or false. Please read out the statement. What I am telling to you. In a for loop, expression 2 is optional. We can write a for loop without the expression 2. In this case, for loop will take a true value in place of expression 2, and it will make the provided loop as what? Infinite loop. It is not possible to provide any statement like system.out.println method, system.out.println as a expression 2, but it allows only the Boolean statements. It must return a Boolean value like what there? true and false kernel. This is one part. Next one is another example here we are providing there. After this, right here we provided this point clearly. One more point I am telling to you, now try to understand it clearly. Here it tells us what statement here, Boolean statement here we are thinking. Now observe carefully what I am telling to you. Okay, this is sufficient, no? Later in the future, I'm going to show one more point on the basis of this. Whenever we are having awareness on methods, all this content clearly. Okay, fine. Leave this punch here. So this is about like what there expression 2. But one more example I'm telling to you. Try to understand it. Then it's now related to like what there another point. Third point here we completed. Now here we are going to understand the fourth point. I'll give some clarity. Try to understand this point here. All of you observe carefully. Okay, now see this punch here. For into I is equal to 0, I less than 10, less than or equal to 0, or I greater than or equal to 0, I plus plus. This is my program. Now, system dot out dot println of before loop. System dot for loop here we have taken inside this for loop. System dot out dot println of inside loop. System dot out dot println of after loop. What is the status of this program? Now tell me. Just guess it. What is the status of this program? For int I, that means before loop. Please observe this conditional expression. Observe this conditional expression. What we are getting is that conditional expression returns true value or false value. What is this conditional expression? Is that conditional expression returns true value or false value? See this, for any value of I, maybe negative values are 0 or maybe what there positive values. Any value of I, condition is true or not? For any value of I, condition is true in the sense automatically that loop is an infinite loop or not? If that loop is an infinite loop, what output here we are able to get? No. What output here we are able to get? No. All right, first one is what there before loop. Now this is what there every time the condition is true in the sense infinite loop. No, so inside loop value here we are getting what there infinite number of times. Inside loop is what there infinite number of times. Okay, Java C space tester.java compiled successfully. Java space tester. First before loop, then after that infinite loop. I stopped it. Control C. If you click on this Control C, program will be terminated. Okay, stop it. It's okay, fine. This is one example. Later I'll give that point here. Observe carefully. Status is no compilation error. Output is what there. Before loop, inside loop, infinite number of times. Fine. I'll give one more example. For example, in place of this, I want to provide true value. Any difference? No. Previous example and present example. Previous example is always condition is true. Directly we provided true without depending on variables and conditional expression. Any difference in the previous example and present example? No difference. Now let me check it. Java C space test.java. Now we are getting what? Unreachable statement, system not doubted println of after loop. Now we are getting what error here? Unreachable statement. What is that unreachable statement now? After loop. Value here we are getting unreachable statement. So this is one error here we are getting. Remember this, I'm going to give a sequence of examples by that you are able to get some clarity. Later on I will give the errors also clearly. Reason I will provide that, don't worry. This is one example. Next one is, for example, I'm not going to provide anything here. True or false, I have not provided this. Means that we know already expression 2 is optional. If I have not provided anything as an expression 2, automatically it will take what value? True value. When it takes true value, automatically the loop is what there? Infinite loop. Then the statement is what there? Unreachable statement. So whether we are going to get error or not, that we have to check now. Getting error or not, that we have to check. Java C space test.java. Compiled unsuccessful. Now here we are getting the same error, unreachable statement. This is one example. Okay. Next one is, in place of this, I want to provide what there? False. In place of this, I want to provide what there? False. Guess it, what we are going to get now? Before loop, any chance to execute inside loop? No chances. Then what it will provide? After loop. Java C space test.java. See this. Compilation error. Now this time, loop body is unreachable. When the conditional expression is false, loop body is what there? Unreachable. I'll give clarity, don't worry for it. One by one, I will explain to you. But examples here I'm gathering, now try to understand this. Alright, sir. Now coming to the points here I'm telling to you. Point number 4. Yeah, all of you put more concentration what I'm going to provide here. If you provide any statement immediately after the infinite loop, come again. If we provide any statement immediately after the infinite loop, then that statement is called an unreachable statement. Tell me, sir. If we provide any statement immediately after the infinite loop, then the statement is called as what there is called an unreachable statement. Okay, fine. This is the meaning of like what there unreachable statement. But in this example, this after loop is unreachable. But in this example, after loop is also be unreachable. But in this example, we got compilation error. But before example, we are not having any compilation error. Why? What is the reason why? In some situations, we are getting compilation errors. In some other situations, we are not getting compilation errors. What exactly the reasons here we have to understand. Listen carefully. For that, I am giving clarity. Try to understand it now. Observe carefully. If the compiler recognize the statement as an unreachable statement, then the compiler will raise an error. Like an unreachable statement. Yes, sir, got my point or not? If the compiler recognize the statement as an unreachable statement, then the compiler will raise an error like what there? Unreachable statement. If the compiler does not aware the statement is unreachable statement, then the compiler will not raise any error. Then the compiler will not raise any error. Right, sir? Fine. If we provide any statement immediately after the infinite loop, then the statement is called an unreachable statement. If the compiler recognizes the statement as an unreachable statement, then the compiler will raise an error like unreachable statement. If the compiler is not aware the statement is an unreachable statement, if the compiler is not aware about the statement is an unreachable statement, then the compiler will not raise any error. Even though still it is an unreachable statement, that will be identified at runtime, but still compiler will not raise any error. Okay, now this is the point here we can understand. Now see this one here. First of all, here what we have taken there about this, if you observe the conditional statement, first of all understand it, compiler identifies the statement immediately after the for loop. After loop is provided immediately after the for loop. So compiler is thinking about it, it may be unreachable statement. Now let's confirm it. To confirm it, what compiler will do? Compiler is trying to recognize, is trying to check whether this loop is an infinite loop or not. To check whether this loop is an infinite loop or not, compiler is trying to evaluate the conditional expression. Now check it now. What is that conditional expression it is actually? Is that variable conditional expression or constant conditional expression? Variable conditional expression. Who is going to evaluate it now? JVM is going to evaluate it, not by compiler. So compiler is unable to evaluate it. So compiler is unable to recognize this loop as an infinite loop. Still compiler is thinking this loop is what there? Finite loop by default. So compiler will not recognize this statement as what there? Unreachable statement. But really this statement is what there? Unreachable statement. But compiler could not identify this statement as an unreachable statement. That's why here we are getting the status what there? No compilation error, but we are getting infinite loop. Before loop, inside loop, infinite. But there is no chance of reaching to. There is no chance to execute what there? After loop instruction. Because of this reason here, we are not getting any compilation error. Leave it. Coming to this statement. Compiler identifies a statement immediately after the for loop. So compiler has to check whether it is a reachable statement or unreachable statement. Then immediately compiler is trying to check whether the loop is an infinite loop or not. To check whether the loop is an infinite loop, compiler is evaluating what their conditional expression. What is this conditional expression here we provided? True as the value here we provided. True in the sense what? Is always true. So definitely that loop is what there? Infinite loop. That compiler can understand. Compiler could recognize this loop is what there? Infinite loop. So if it is an infinite loop, the followed statement must be what there? Unreachable statement. Their compiler identifies the statement is an unreachable or not. That's why we are getting what there? Compilation error. What is that compilation error here? Unreachable statement. Following or not? Right. Next example. Compiler identifies a statement immediately after the for loop. So compiler has to check whether the statement is reachable or unreachable statement. To check whether the statement is reachable or unreachable statement, first a compiler must recognize whether this loop is an infinite loop or not. To recognize whether this loop is an infinite loop or not, it will come to the conditional expression. Now here no conditional expression is available here. So if we are not providing any conditional expression, by default, which value is provided by the compiler or which value will be taken by for loop? True value will be taken or not? True value in the sense it's a constant conditional expression that compiler can understand. Compiler can understand this loop is what there? Infinite loop. When it understands this loop is an infinite loop, then the statement is what? Unreachable statement. There compiler must raise an error. Unreachable statement error here we are getting. Leave this one. Next example. Compiler has provided a statement immediately after, we provide a statement immediately after the infinite loop. Now compiler wants to check this one. Loop is an infinite loop or not. Now when it comes to the conditional expression, that what it is coming there, false it is coming. Now compiler what it is thinking there, okay, if the value is true, the statement is what they're unreachable, but if the value is a false no, if it is a false no, entire loop body is unreachable or not? My point here, if it is false, entire loop body is not reachable. JVM never goes to that loop body, never execute that loop body. Now that loop body is what there? Unreachable. See, unreachable statement may be in any form. It may be a statement immediately after the infinite loop, or it may be the loop body in the case of putting false value as a conditional expression. In any form here, we are able to get unreachable statement. But this is one of the chance here. If you provide false value as an expression 2, automatically loop body is acting as like what there is an unreachable statement. That's why here we are getting like what there conditional. That means error. What is that error? Unreachable statement in this particular statement. Yes, sir, got it or not? Now get the simple note I'm telling there. In the above example, if the expression 2 value is a false, then the loop body is unreachable. Then the loop body is what there? Unreachable. Here the compiler will raise an error. Compiler will raise an error like unreachable statement. The compiler will raise an error like what there? Unreachable statement. Right, sir? So this is the total awareness here we can understand about this what there unreachable statements and the content here what we are having clearly. That's okay, fine. So this is about like what there expression 2 what we understood clearly. Next one is I need to take some examples on the basis of like what there expression 3. Now observe carefully. And before that, I think a given point about this particular one. That's okay, fine. Fifth one, rule number 5. All right, sir. Now observe carefully. I want to remove all these things. I want to be in the original portion of my program. Now it's like what there I less than 10. Sys not outed println of I value here I want to provide. Next one is like what there. Just we are going to remove this part here. After row part here we are going to remove. Just leave this. All right, sir. Now this is normal program. Now here my point is what there. I plus plus. I want to remove it. I want to provide this I plus plus here. That means what I'm trying to check now. Expression 3 is optional or mandatory. This I want to check with what? Expression 3 is optional or mandatory. If you are getting compilation error, then it is mandatory. Java C space tester.java. No compilation error here. Java space tester. We are getting output like what there? 0 to 9 output here we are getting. Right, sir. Now here we are getting like what there output value here we are getting. So this is what then what we are thinking there expression 3 is what there optional. Okay, fine. Next one more example. Now try to understand it now. Expression 3 is optional is okay. We can write for loop without expression 3. But can I write any statement like sys not outed println? Sys not outed println. Can I write any statement? Yes, of course we can write it. We can write it. But what output here we are able to get no 0, hello, 1, hello, 2, hello, 3, hello, and so on and so on and so on. 9 hello we are getting. 0, hello, 1, hello, 2, hello, and so on. 9 hello. That values here we are getting. Now let me check this. How we are able to get the values here. Java C space tester.java compiled successfully. Java space tester. What values here we are getting there? 0 hello, 1 hello, and so on and so on and so on. What next one here? No, 9 hello. That values here we are getting. Okay. Right. So now the output also here we have to identify. So finally, the point here what I am telling to you. In a for loop, expression 3 is optional. In for loop, what is optional here? No, expression 3 is optional. We can write for loop without expression 3. We can write for loop without what there? Expression 3. Okay, right. It is possible to provide any statement. It's possible to provide any statement like what there? System dot out dot println. System dot out dot println as a expression 3. It will not give any error. The related points are already shown programmatically. So here I provided like what statement here? System dot out dot println of a hello here I provided here. That output value here we are getting like what there? 0 hello, 1 hello, 2 hello, and so on and so on and so on. 9 hello. That values here we are getting. Right. This one now, this is exactly the total point here we are able to understand like what there. For loop, inside this for loop, what we understood there? Expression 1, expression 2, and expression 3 related content here we understood. Okay, now next one is point number 6. Now observe carefully. Some examples here I'm going to provide. Now try to follow these examples. Try to understand these examples. Let me give that point here directly. After that, I will show that examples. No. In a for loop, observe carefully. In a for loop, if we provide single statement as a body, then the curly braces are optional. Then the curly braces are what they're optional. But if we provide no statement in body, no statement is available inside the body, then we must provide either curly statements, curly braces or semicolon. Either of these here we have to provide. Yes, sir. All of you get my point here. What I am telling to you now, try to understand it clearly. In the for loop, if we provide a single statement as body, then the curly braces are optional. But if we provide no statement in body, nothing, empty body here, if you want to provide, there either we have to provide curly braces or we have to provide what there? Semicolon. This is a condition here we have to follow. See this examples here I'm telling you. Right, sir. Simple one. For a semicolon like this. Just have given this sentence section. Compilation error here we are getting. Why we are getting compilation error? No. In this case, we are not providing any curly braces or we are not providing what there? Semicolon. But in the case of empty body, either curly brace or what we have to provide? Semicolon here we have to provide. So definitely here we are able to get compilation error. Java C space tester.java. Now here we are getting what there? Compilation error. Illegal sort of expression here we are getting. Error we are getting there. Compilation error. Status is what there? Compilation error here we are getting. Another example. For example, I want to provide semicolon here. Semicolon. No compilation error. Java C space tester.java. No compilation error. It's valid, but of course no output will be generated. Why? Because no statement is provided here. It is an infinite loop. No expression 2, so infinite loop. Still the program is in infinite loop. It is not terminated. Control C. Now only it is terminated here. Okay, this is valid. Status is like what there? Valid. Next example. No compilation error, of course. No compilation error. Next one is, for example, I want to provide semicolon in the next line. Still valid. The semicolon we can provide in the same for loop or maybe in the next line. Still valid. Java C space tester.java. Still valid. No compilation error. Of course, output value is in what there? Infinite loop. No output, but the JVM is in what there? Infinite loop. Okay, now the status here I want to write now. Status is no compilation error. Output is like what there? No output, but JVM is in infinite loop. But JVM is in what there? Infinite loop. That's it. Right, sir. Now this is a clear-cut information about like what there. This is a for loop here. Basic information here what I've given about this for loop. Got it or not? Then we are able to see some examples. Simple examples here we are able to see. Now up to 100, I want to display all even numbers and as well as what there odd numbers. That's my requirement. Then how we are going to display this value? Now tell me, write logic for it now. Tell me. I want to display even numbers and odd numbers up to like what there 100. I want to prepare this. Now tell me what I have to do there. For loop here we have to take into num is equal to 0. Then what next one here? Num less than what next one? 100. If you want to include 100, we can use that. Okay. Next one is what there? Num plus plus. Now here what we have to do there? Observe carefully. Now directly we can provide like what there? If num percentage to double equals to 0. Now what we have to provide there? Now tell me. Simply we have to say system dot out dot println of num plus is a even number. Is what number? You know, even number. Else part. What's the meaning of this else part? You know, here we are able to provide system dot out dot println of println of num plus is a odd number. This is a program, no? Just every number we are going to provide something, even or odd. Java C space test.java. Compiled successfully. Java space test. See this every number. 100 numbers here we provided the data. Right, sir. 0 is even number, 1 is odd number, 2 is even number, 3 is what there odd number. Like this here we are. Of course, we don't want to repeat from 0 onwards. There we can start with what there 1 onwards here we can take. Okay, we cannot say that 0 is what. In general, Java C space tester.java or Java space tester. The same thing here we are getting clearly. We can identify this. 1 is odd number, 2 is even number. Like this here we are getting the program. Right, sir? It's okay. This is an example to check whether a number is even number or odd number. A simple example here we provided. So okay, leave this one. Next one is I want to find factorial value for a particular number. Factorial value. I want to find there. What is the meaning of this factorial value? Now tell me. For example, 4 factorial here I want to calculate. 4 factorial in the sense like what there? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. But not with 0. If you put it 0, the entire thing is going to be 0. Factorial value here I want to calculate. Now tell me, what is the logic here we are going to write now? Say for example, int num is equal to some 4 that I have taken there. 4 or 5 or whatever it may be, some number here we can take. Now here what I will do, if int I is equal to 1, from which onwards here we have to take 1 onwards, not with 0. 0 is not countable, right? 1. Next one is what there? I less than or equal to what there? 4. Then after this, what next one here? I plus plus. Now inside this, then what we are going to take now? Int result is equal to, initially I want to take what there? 1. Okay. Now here, what I will provide there? Result is equal to result plus is it plus or not? Result star. What value here we have to take now? I value. Result is equal to result star I. So for example, value is what there? 1 now. 1 star 1. 1 is the result here. Understand it clearly. Next one is what there? 2. I value is what there? 2. Already 1 is available. 1 star 2. It's okay. Next one is what there? 3. 1 star 2 in the sense previously 2. 2 star 3. 6. Okay. Next one is 3. 6 star. Sorry. What next one again? No, 4. 4 in the sense what there? 6 star 4. What is the value here? Some value here we are able to get. Now let me display the resultant value here. No. system.out.println of factorial value plus then what next one here we have to provide their result. Factorial value, that result here I am going to take. 4 is a value, 4 factorial here we are going to display. Java C space tested.java. Compiled successfully, Java space test factorial values what there 24. That value here we are getting. For example, if I provide 5 is a value, definitely some value is going to be generated factorial value. Java C space tested.java, Java space test. 24 is a value here we are getting. Okay. Right, sir. Are here? Here I have taken directly, no? Num I have to take. Num I have to take. I should not take 5 or 4. What value here I have taken for num, that we have to provide. 120 here we are getting it. I think so. This program is right. Okay. Right, sir. This is what we are getting clearly. Okay. Next one is I want to give some assignment to you. Now try to complete it. Okay. Now take this assignment all of. I think one assignment is still pending. Find biggest among 3 numbers. Right. I'll discuss with you. Don't worry. All right, sir. Write a Java program to check whether a number is prime number or not. This is one program. Then another example. Write a Java program to display all prime numbers less than 100. Write a Java program to display all prime numbers less than 100. Okay. Next, one more example. Write a Java program to display Fibonacci series up to 100. What is that Fibonacci series? No. Next value is the addition of the previous two values. Next value is the addition of the previous two values. Right, sir. Okay. Right, sir. Then these examples here we have to complete. That pending example is also be available. That is also be I'll discuss with you. But in tomorrow we'll plan for these examples. Now try to complete this before come for the class. Okay. But your trial is important. Some examples if I give there, then you have to check for it. Don't expect all the examples from me. If I do all the examples inside the class, what you are going to do? Understand it now? So, say everything is available in outside. But the point is what we have to think about it. Think about the logic here. Okay, even if you find the examples in the internet, but find the logics internally. My main concept is what there, you have to understand the points. Okay. Anyway, I will explain the concepts here. I will explain all these examples, don't worry. But before that, your attempt is important. Try to complete it within seconds. I will finish these examples, and after that, we'll move on to the next concepts there clearly. Okay. Right, sir. That's all for today. Then tomorrow in the regular time, we will see the content here. Thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. ప్రోగ్రామ్ అంతా ఓకే, మీరు అన్ని ఏ నెంబర్స్ ఇచ్చినా కూడా వ్యాలిడ్ వస్తుంది. అన్ని సేమ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు మాత్రం ఆల్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ అని రాదు. ఒకసారి ప్రోగ్రామ్ సిస్టంలో చెక్ చేయండి. ఇన్ ద కేస్ మీ ఈ అవుట్పుట్ కూడా అన్ని ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఆల్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ అని వచ్చిందా, పర్ఫెక్ట్ అయిపోయినట్టే, ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ రైట్. కానీ రాదు నా ఐడియా ప్రకారం. ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయండి సిస్టమ్. Yeah, Raz, okay, then send it. I will check it once now. Okay, don't worry. Just send it. I will check it. Okay, thank you.